of the command module, this would look to be the panel, the display panel with some of the fuel quantity dials on the right side of the cockpit. At the time these television pictures were transmitted from the spacecraft, Apollo 11 was about 121,000 nautical miles from Earth. Where we do have good signal lock-on, we got amazingly good quality from those little Omni antennas. As we've mentioned before, normally the high-gain antenna would be used for a television transmission of this sort. And we could almost make out a face in that one, and somebody's hand down at the instrument panel. That last view just before we lost picture lockup appeared to be the right center portion of the main display console, main display panel in the command module. For a brief moment there, we had a picture of a somewhat placid Neil Armstrong closing his eyes momentarily. Another crewman to his left, I'm not sure at this point that I can make out who it was. It did appear it might have been Mike Collins.
Yes, Apollo 11. Go ahead, 11. Oh, Charlie, is that you? That's me. How are you there? Oh, just fine. How's the old white team today? The old white team's bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. We're ever alert down here. Ever alert and vigilant. Hey, you got any medics down there watching heart rate? I'm trying to do some running in place down here, and I'm wondering, just out of curiosity, whether it brings my heart rate up. Well, they will spring into action here momentarily. Stand by.
That was Mike Collins commenting that he was doing some running in place exercises. We may get a brief view of that a little later on in this transmission if the picture stabilizes and holds still for us.
Hello, 11. We see your heart beating. Okay, well, look at the CDR and the DMB, see if they go up any. We're all running this place up here. You wouldn't believe it. I'd like to see that site. Why don't you give us a TV picture of that one? I think that's great. You got it. Okay, it's coming in a go so, Buzz. Get Bruce that we don't have it here in that center.
Welcome, guys. I hope everybody had a fantastic, all my compatriots, all my fellow Americans had a fantastic 4th of July Independence Day celebration. Hope y'all still got your 10 fingers, 10 toes, and nothing too serious as you lit the fireworks that you probably shouldn't have been lit with little beers in your system. Welcome to the stream, guys. It's just going to be a laid back, I'm super tired, just kind of hangout stream for maybe an hour, maybe a little bit less. I'm just in the mood to shoot the shit tonight. But I appreciate everybody tuning in with me. 3:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And let's hang out for a little bit. And Carter Lovejoy, thank you so much for the first super chat and channel support of the stream. I greatly appreciate that, man. I saw that you got an earful from Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, DD Cobra on Twitter the other day. What happened? Sorry to bring the mood down. No, not at all. It's a cycle, man. Everybody's in his target here and there. Eckert's ladder has been in his target. Alex Amalia has been in his target. It's just my turn, you know. Incredibly sensitive and thin skin, for sure. But, no, it doesn't bother me at all. It's kind of funny, like the other night, I looked at it and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was looking through my mentions. It was later in the evening and I was like, who the fuck is all these people? And I looked and I was like, okay, and I responded, and then I didn't look at it again until the next like afternoon when I was rocking my daughter, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, I mean, you guys know me. You guys on the streams probably hear me talk about shit more than anybody else that follows this channel, because I stream every day, and you know, you kind of hear my free-flowing thoughts. I don't really pay attention to much on Twitter, on social media. I check it twice a day, in the early morning when I wake up, and then in the afternoon when I rock my daughter. And then everything else is just kind of white noise. But it's very interesting, man. Very interesting. It's weird. That's what it is. It's weird. I don't really get it. I don't know. And it's like a narrative that gets spun too. And once again, you guys on this live stream know me better than probably anybody that's watched my channel, aside from my family and friends. I've never talked about... I've always railed against using terms like alt-right, right? You guys have heard me do that. I've always railed against calling people sexists and racists. I've always railed against jumping to those conclusions when somebody doesn't like a thing. But there's this narrative out there that I do that. Do you know what I mean? And it's very strange. It's kind of like the mark of a bullshitter that's spinning a narrative, and you sit back and you go, but that's not at all true. It's very strange, man. It's very strange. But anyway, I appreciate that, Carter. And yeah, man, people are fucking weird. As I've always said, as Jackson said to Upham, careful not to step in the bullshit. It's best just not to pay attention. But when it knocks on your door, you go, okay, cool, dude. Lennon Soriano, thank you so much for the super chat once as well, man. I greatly appreciate it. Free super chat, take YouTube's money. Nice. How does that work, Lennon? I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. How does that work when... I've seen a lot of people do that, Lennon. Is it a YouTube Red thing? Is that what it's called? The YouTube subscription thing? Is that what it's called? I think so. I think if you're a paying subscriber to YouTube, don't you get a couple like free super chats or something like that? But anyway, Lennon, I appreciate you using the free super chat on the old Hello Greedo YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate that, man. I hope you had a fantastic 4th if you're an American citizen. If you're not an American citizen, I hope you had a fantastic July 4th, because it's just like any other day for you, right? So there you go. I greatly appreciate it, man. Lennon Soriano, YouTube Premium, you get at least one free super chat. Oh, nice, nice. Well, I appreciate using that on me. Oh, thank you so much for supporting the channel, Mr. Lennon. I greatly appreciate that. And Damon Piacquadio, thank you so much for the super chat as well, man. I know I can't be the only one who ignores the whiners on Star Wars social media posts. I ignore social media altogether. Hello Greedo is really the only social media presence that I have, other than like personal Facebook that I never check, and the only reason I do check it is because I'm in a group with like 7 of my oldest friends, and you know, we're always cutting up and saying very inappropriate and dumb shit. But I actually have an entire chapter about social media in the book that I need to put for sale, because it's done. And how I think it's kind of... I think we've very much so underestimated the negative ramifications of social media. But yeah, it's not just Star Wars social media. It's all social media. It's a bunch of people who think they know they're the star of their own personal Truman Show, right? They've cultivated this, I don't know, this reality show. I don't know, it's weird. It creeps me out. It really creeps me out. And I don't know. You know, I occasionally post pictures of me in a helmet, say some silly dumb shit. Other than that, man, I rarely look at my home. I occasionally look at my notifications twice a day when I rock my daughter for a nap. But other than that, I kind of fucking hate social media. My favorite social media program is Instagram, because I never really post any comments on there. I never really put any captions to pictures. It's just, oh, I kind of like this picture that I took and I post it. It's just like the most pure form of kind of, I don't know, of social media in my opinion. But yeah. But But yeah, I think everybody certainly needs a break because people take it way too fucking serious, and it's kind of crazy. But I appreciate that, Damon. And Confused Boy, thank you so much for the super chats and channel support there, man. I don't know if you meant to type a little message in there or you wanted to be a silent supporter, but dude, I appreciate the hell out of the support this afternoon, and I hope you had a good 4th. What did everybody do? I'm gonna read. What did everybody do for the 4th of July? If you're an American citizen, I guess that's a question for you. If you're not, what did you do on the 4th of July? Because it's any other day, right? For me, my wife, and my daughter, we went to the pool. My wife's grandma has a house right like on a creek, kind of an inlet to the river. And she's owned this house since probably the 50s or 60s or something like that. And it has a pool right in the backyard, and nobody was there. So her grandma's out of town, and we were like, hell yeah. And we just went over there and hung out, grilled some brats, had some beers, pushed my daughter around in her float. And it was a good time. Went to Jack's Beach, had some crab, and watched the fireworks. Nice, man. That sounds like fun. Worked, then had a family barbecue and had some homemade cannolis that my mom made. Nice. Spent time with family, had a great barbecue. Nice. Worked all day. A wife worked all day, so I spent playing Call of Duty and watched Platoon for the first time. Nice. Had some burgers and hot dogs, watched the first episode of Stranger Things Season 3, and played some MGS3. Nice. What's up, Lord? Sofa Sith Lord as well. I just had a chill night at home with a bit of work sprinkled in during the morning. Nice. A little bit of working at home. Can't escape it, right? Even on holidays. Can't escape it. I lit some fireworks with friends and made holiday pay up at UPS third shift. Nice. What's up, Darren? I worked all day and questioned my sanity after a 13-hour shift. What's up, Squawk? Nice. Yeah, it's a fun holiday for sure. I'm excited. In the future, I'm sure we'll go. Me and my wife used to go watch fireworks, and we used to live downtown. We lived downtown for 5 years, owned a home that we just recently sold. And we could ride our bike to the river, and we used to ride our bike to the river and just kind of like park up right on the river and watch fireworks from kind of maybe a couple miles away from downtown. It was nice. It's always fun. Oh yeah, I'm a permanent remote employee, so I'm always on call. It's a blessing and a curse. Yeah, for sure. I can imagine that. Yeah, it's like there's no more 9 to 5 anymore. I mean, obviously there is, but it seems more and more it's becoming the norm for the employee-employer relationship to be 24/7. It's kind of creepy, but yeah, I don't know. Do you like anime, Stuart? What's up, Stuart? No, I've never been into it. It's not because I don't like it. It's just I've never really given it a chance. I've never really. Nothing, I don't know. I've always thought the artistic style has always looked pretty neat, but yeah, I've just never given it a chance. I had a neighbor back in the day who watched it all the time, really big into Dragon Ball. This was when I was probably in, I was definitely in middle school, but I never got into it. I watched a couple episodes with him, but didn't do much for me. But yeah. I was part of a parade, then went to our local frozen yogurt store. Then, with my little bros, girlfriend house, and went to go see fireworks. Nice. That's a fun, eventful day for sure. Allows me to catch a Greedo stream without worrying about someone looking over my shoulder, so I can't complain. There you go, man. Nice. So yeah, today's just been kind of hung out. I wrote a couple videos. My wife took my daughter to the store for a couple hours, and I wrote 3 videos, and hopefully I can knock those out this week. You guys know me. Time is limited. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get those knocked out this week. Oh, wait. I'm all confused, man. It's Friday, isn't it? Probably won't be able to... Yeah. Next week, for sure. Any good shows you can recommend? I need something to watch this summer. What's up, Airzone? Any good shows you recommend? Golly, if you want to binge something, I mean, I can always recommend Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's my favorite Star Trek. I love it to pieces. I can't get enough of it. You know, it might be kind of a chore to get through the first season, maybe the second season, but it really finds its stride in the third, as most shows do. You know, it kind of finds its stride after a season or two. But other than that, man, if you haven't watched Black Mirror yet, watch it. There's so much good TV, right? The most recent thing that me and my wife watched was Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's about stand-up comedy. It's a funny show. I didn't know anything about it before I went into it, but it's fucking funny. I like the second season better than the first, actually, which is very rare. Normally, I like the first season of every show that I watch, but best, you know. Well, at least like kind of serialized shows like that, or episodic shows like that, rather. But it's really good. I haven't watched much of anything else. I'm trying to think. We started Narcos Mexico, but for whatever reason, I think we decided to cancel Netflix, and then we canceled it, and then we were like, oh shit, we were watching Narcos Mexico. So, what's up, Hugo? Oh man. Greedo, in the spirit of the 4th of July, can we get a goofy story from while you served? A goofy story. A goofy story. Well, I'll tell you kind of a gross story. How about that? So I was on a frigate. There was between... how many people? I want to say like 250 to 300 guys on there. And pretty much there was the officer berthing and the enlisted berthing separate. And the enlisted berthing had a bathroom. I believe 5 stalls for probably 100 dudes. Maybe 150 dudes. And the bathroom was right next to the berthing where everybody slept. Well, the toilets got plugged. Or the entire kind of drainage system backfired, I guess is a good way to put it. And the berthing flooded. And there was literally logs of shit going through the berthing where people slept. It only happened once, but it was an old boat built, I believe, in the early 80s. And it was disgusting. But, you know, yeah. Other than that, man, everything was usually pretty clean. If somebody was kind of a shitbag, everybody would tell that person to take a shower. People, you know, there were 2 shifts to clean the heads in the morning and the afternoon, or the morning at night, and everything was usually pretty good, pretty clean, cleaner than you would think. But yeah. In your experience, what country outside of the USA loves Star Wars the most? Oh, I have no idea. That's an interesting question. I have no idea. I really don't know. I don't know. I look at my analytics, or I looked at my analytics the other day for the first time, I mean, in years. And I was very interested to find out that I believe half of all viewers of the channel are from the United States. Just, you think of the entirety of the globe. I would think that number would be less, but it was about 50% from the United States. It's kind of interesting. But, did the Navy teach you arm hand-to-hand combat and defense, Stuart? Briefly, only because, you know, if you go through basic, you don't really do anything like that. You do some pistol training and shotgun training, but it's like one day. I was auxiliary security force, also on base as kind of a duty. So I would I actually have video of me being pepper sprayed with oleoresin capsicum. It's OC spray, and then doing a hand-to-hand course. I need to post that sometime. But no, not extensively. No, not enough to. I mean, enough to get your ass kicked, as the joke always says. They teach you just enough to get your ass kicked. But yeah. A New Hope is on TNT right now if you want to have it on the background. LOL. Nice, fun stuff. Nice. She got some free time tonight. What was the space documentary / film you had recently recommended? Ooh, Stevie Caldwell. You know, it might have been Apollo 11. It might have been the most... It might have been Apollo 11, the documentary that just recently came out. I'm guessing it was that. I'm guessing it was that. If not, it had to have been that. I can't think of anything else I've recently talked about in that kind of... It must have been that. I'm guessing. Yeah. If you haven't seen that, definitely watch it. For sure, Stevie. There's also a really good documentary. It's kind of a... I think it's 6 parts. It's called When We Left Earth. It's a lot different than the Apollo 11 documentary. But it's narrated by Gary Sinise, and it's great. It kind of goes from, you know, Alan Shepard's first flight, the beginning of the space race, and it kind of ends with the shuttle program. It's a really good, I think it's 6 parts, either 5 or 6 parts, but it's really good. It's really well done. It's probably about 10 years old now, I would say, but yeah. My mom's a big fan of Gary Sinise. How could you not be a big fan of Gary Sinise, Nightman? Yeah, he seems like a nice guy, heart in the right place. I like him as an actor. Yeah, good dude. He has a band called the Lieutenant Dan Band. Does a lot for service members and veterans, too. Do you prefer physical media over digital media? Ooh, interesting question. You know, for the longest time, man, I preferred physical media. I was kind of a late adopter to buying digital games. I mean, to the point where it's a month ago is where I was like, you know what, I'm kind of sick of buying physical console games, like only a month ago. So I'm a late adopter of digital media exclusively. The only thing that I don't think I'll be able to get around is movies. I don't want to buy a digital copy of a movie when I could pay maybe $5 more and get a physical copy that also comes with a digital copy. Does that make sense? I don't know why. That's the one thing. I'm sure that'll break, but that's the one thing that I can't really get past wanting to go exclusively digital. It actually took me a while PC-wise to go exclusively digital, and the only reason I think I started doing that was because so many games stopped coming out, and it was kind of the PC gaming section of stores shrunk, and I still liked having the physical media, and eventually a lot of the games weren't even on shelves and all that kind of stuff, but it's just so convenient, right? It's so convenient to be able to download something, and I think I'm over buying physical Xbox games now. Up until a month ago, I think I'm over it because, you know, I'm laying in bed, I want to play Red Dead, but Rocket League is in the Xbox, and I don't want to get up. What are you trying to... What, you're asking too much of me. I don't want to get up. And if I just had it installed digitally, I could just switch it on over. One sec. Nice. All right. Sofa Sith Lord, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that, man. What is your favorite movie set in space that isn't part of the Star Wars universe? Ooh, movie set in space. Oh, what is your favorite movie set in space that isn't a part of Star Wars universe? Let me physical crazy. So okay, so let me read this and maybe I'm misinterpreting it. What is your favorite movie set in space that isn't part of the Star Wars universe? So my favorite movie that's kind of okay. Can it be nonfiction? Probably Apollo 13 or The Right Stuff. If we're talking nonfiction, if you'll allow me to have if you'll indulge me with two of my favorite films of all time, Apollo 13 and The Right Stuff. If we're talking fiction, though, God. The Martian's pretty great. That was a really good kind of adaptation from the book. I thought that they did a hell of a job. Surprisingly good. God damn, other than that, I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously I love Star Warrior right there. Alien or Aliens. I love those movies. God, man. I love most of the Star Trek movies. Well, I won't say love them. First Contact is probably my favorite. And I think the reason it's my favorite is because I watched it as a kid and I was really into it. That's about it. Golly. It's kind of tough to pick a favorite. You know, I think of a lot of kind of science fiction movies, and most of them, a lot of them are pretty forgettable, right? This song is just perfect to talk about forgettable sci-fi movies. Oh man, some movies just blossom. Some just go right in the garbage can of history, man. People work so hard to come up with these stories. People pour their heart and soul. They pour their heart and soul into the digital effects. And it just gets brushed away like sand on a beach. Nobody cares about my little old movie. Nobody cares. But life goes on, man. Life goes on. But Sofa, I really don't know my all-time favorite. More so than any nonfiction, or rather, more so than any fiction movie other than Star Wars that's set in space. I definitely prefer like nonfiction space movies, you know, kind of a little bit of historic accuracy, or alternative history space movies, or future alternative history space movies, you know what I mean, like The Martian, that kind of stuff. But even Interstellar was fun. I only saw it once in the theater. I haven't seen it again. I would really like to watch it again. I fucking love Sunshine. Sunshine, I think, is one of my favorite science fiction movies in the past decade. I mean, it's probably older than a decade now. It probably came out 11. I'm gonna guess 2008. Sunshine. 2007. Wow, 12 years ago. That's crazy. Sunshine. I thought Sunshine was great. I loved it was one of the more visually awesome science fiction movies in a very long time, and I thought the score was great too. I'm gonna say the first 75% of Sunshine is just like perfect, and then it all just tanks. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen Sunshine, it's directed by Danny Boyle. It stars what's his name? I'm gonna remember without looking up. I'm gonna remember Cillian Murphy. It stars Cillian Murphy. Directed by Danny Boyle. Chris Evans is actually in it. It's definitely worth watching. Visually beautiful, and the soundtrack is just awesome. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Sofa Sif. Would you ever do a review on Harry Potter since you're reading the book, Stuart? I only read the first one, and it was free on my Kindle, and I read it. Now, I probably wouldn't do any reviews and stuff like that. There's a lot of other stuff I would want to talk about before that. But I was pretty surprised how much I enjoyed that book. I thought I would start it because it was free, like I said, on the Kindle, and I started it, and I didn't expect to really get into it. I thought it would be a case of like me reading a few pages and being like, all right, I get the gist. But it hooked me pretty quick, man. It hooked me pretty quick. It was an easy read, and it was a fun read for sure. But yeah. What's up, Mad Dog? Spider-Man Far From Home was so good. It takes what happens in Endgame so well, and it feels like a comic book. Nice. I didn't realize that actually came out. It come out this weekend? This coming weekend or last weekend? I don't pay attention to much. You guys know that. What was the previous screen, Grant? Or screen. What was the previous song? I'm trying to think. If you rewind the stream, at the tip top of the stream, it says now playing. You could find you could find it there. Do you have a favorite Star Trek technology? Dynamo75. Man, I think one of the more interesting ones. You know, it's great having the all the medical stuff and just all the faster than light travel and all that kind of stuff is awesome. But one of the more interesting aspects, technology-wise, of Star Trek, especially the Next Generation more than any, for me, is the holodeck. The holodeck has been a part of so many of my favorite episodes. So many interesting kind of existential questions have been posed in the holodeck episodes. There's entire episodes that happen in the holodeck, and the person that's in the holodeck doesn't even know that they're in the holodeck. I love the holodeck because it's a place of escape for the crew. It's kind of, they can recreate things that happened to kind of investigate things that happened inside of the holodeck for an controlled environment. I just love it. I absolutely love the holodeck as a piece of technology in Star Trek. And there's no question about it actually being... I think it will become a real thing. No question about it. Will it be a room? Probably not. It'll be more of a virtual reality thing, right? But I love it. Love it. Love it. You talked about multiplayer games before. Did you ever play Quake, Deathmatch, Capture the Flag Team? I never got into Quake. I did play it. I never really got into it that much. I was more into Unreal Tournament, Counter-Strike. I know Quake came out before those, but I never really got that big into Quake. I think it might have been the art style that always kind of turned me off. I preferred like Duke Nukem 3D or just Doom or Wolfenstein. But Quake, you know, I never got into it for whatever reason. Don't know why. Favorite capital supremacy map? Naboo. Definitely Naboo. It's the only one that Geonosis is a lot of fun. I don't like Kashyyyk. Camino, I think I've only played Camino once, and I don't really remember it. But Naboo is by far my favorite capital supremacy map. I just kind of like the close quarters feel of it, and it's definitely fun. Let's see. Daniel A. How does syncing your voice with your body movements work, and do you record your voice separately? Yeah, it's been a couple years since I've done like a making of Hello Greedo video, hasn't it? So yeah, it's really stupid, Daniel. It's I record the audio first. It kind of starts with a script. I script every single video that I do, other than occasionally, like if I just want to talk about Battlefront for a little bit, I'll talk about Battlefront and I won't really script it because I kind of know what I want to say in my head. But pretty much every video is scripted. I write it out, I record the audio, edit the audio, and then I put the WAV file on my speakers, and then I listen to it and literally mime to the audio. It's pretty stupid, but it works, and I've done it since the beginning of this channel, and it's just it's a silly thing that I do, and it works. If you were to be in sorry, Diego. If you were to be an extra in Star Wars, who would you be and why? Oh, I would just want to be like a random stormtrooper. That's I wouldn't want to be any kind of like, you know, I would just literally just want to be a random stormtrooper in the background, just to say I was there. That'd be neat. I don't need any kind of recognition. Do you still hate the prequels? I've never hated the prequels, Omega. As I've said since day one, I was disappointed with them, but hate is a pretty strong word. But it is certainly in just kind of the narrative spin that old Hello Greedo hates the prequels, but it's never been true. Not a big fan, but I like the Clone Wars a hell of a lot more than the prequels, and I only started watching that like 2 years ago. Well, yeah. Where do you pull over for bathroom breaks and food during your trip to Andromeda? There's a hose, man. There's a hose. Don't worry about that. No. Greedo, I'm in the Air Force, but had the privilege to work with the Navy past few weeks and even got coined by their captain. Nice. Did you ever get to work with other branches? I worked with Marines, yeah. I worked with Marines and never worked. No, that's really it. I worked with Australian Navy a little bit, but yeah, I worked with Marines. Oh, and Coast Guard. I worked with Coast Guard as well. We had Coast Guard guys on our frigate, and they were really cool. They're kind of so we were out for 6 months. The Coast Guard guys were basically it's really interesting, kind of a loophole. So if Navy guys board these vessels off the coast of South America, it's kind of in international waters, and it's more of a military legally it's kind of a military act, but since the Coast Guard guys are on our boat and the Coast Guard guys are boarding these vessels, it's a loophole. So it's an act of kind of I guess Homeland Security in a way. It's an act of kind of policing. Does that make sense? I don't know. So yeah, Coast Guard guys are really awesome. The Marines that I worked with, since a lot of the times we fly very similar, if not the same aircraft. I went to school with Marines and interacted with them quite a bit. But yeah, you probably listen to Nickelback. I couldn't name a song, man. Have you ever played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic? Well, when it first came out a little bit. I never really got that into it, man, because when it came out, let's see, what year did that come out? 2000, nope. 2003, okay, 2003. Yeah, I remember owning it, but I never really got into it that much. Just because at that time, in 2003, I was like close to graduating high school, and I was just playing nonstop Counter-Strike. And if I wasn't playing Counter-Strike, I wasn't really playing much of anything. And even Star Wars, you know, I wasn't really that into like RPGs back in the day either. If I was into MMOs and Counter-Strike, that's really about it. Other than that, I have played KOTOR a little bit on streams before, but I've maybe done 4 streams of KOTOR. I know I keep needing to go back to it, but it's kind of a hard game to stream because, you know, I want to get invested in the story and I want to pay attention to the story and make the right decisions and pay attention to the game, but I also want to, you know, pay attention to the chat. So it's kind of hard for me to play RPGs on a stream because I feel like I'm neglecting the chat, you know what I mean? But yeah, I need to. That makes for a good question. Who would you say is your favorite band? Someone you could always throw on and enjoy. My favorite is tough. I'm a big like Conor Oberst fan. Ryan Adams and Whiskey Town, his old bands, and the Cardinals. I like Bright Eyes, and if you want to go back, I like a lot of Motown even. I like Gladys Knight and the Pips. I love a lot of that stuff as well. But bands that I could always throw, I love Josh Ritter is one of my favorites. There's a band called American Football that I've been listening to since probably 1999. There's some guys in that band that have solo projects, like band called, or a guy named Mike Kinsella has a solo project called Owen. There's a band called Pine Grove. That's really great. Pine Grove has a song called Old Friends. It's fantastic. Always been into Death Cab for Cutie, that kind of stuff. And then obviously I like stuff like Fleetwood Mac, and Bob Seger is one of my favorites. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Growing up, I listened to a lot of. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Growing up, I mean, I think we all had phases, right? It's kind of interesting. Like, growing up, it was like living in Jacksonville. Fucking Limp Bizkit's from Jacksonville, dude. So like, there was maybe 6 months where I was super into Limp Bizkit because they're from my hometown, man. You don't fuck with the biscuit. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Andrew Silva, you got to play the long game, man. What about the Beatles? Oh yeah. My dad, I grew up listening to what my dad listened to. You know, my dad saw the Beatles in concert, so you know, he grew up in Detroit, kind of in the era of Motown and the British invasion and all that kind of stuff. So I've always been into, you know, that era. Me and my sister have, you know. But yeah. Would you recommend the military to any young Americans today? Yeah, I would. The problem is 1056. I don't know everybody's individual situation, you know. I would only give my my own personal experience, and maybe some people, or my reasons for enlisting, and maybe some would recognize that they were a little like me, and maybe they think they would benefit from it. But I would absolutely recommend it for sure. It's the best decision I ever made, to, you know, get a head on straight and stuff like that. But I would. And again, the catalyst, or I don't know everybody's situation, so I would never tell somebody online that they should enlist. You know what I mean? But yeah. Rhyme Minister, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. I greatly appreciate that. What's your favorite genre of music? I don't know, man. I like, it's really tough. I don't even know. Like, well, lately I've been listening to, just a lot of kind of, I don't know, like bands like Hammock. There's a band called Hammock, and it's kind of, I don't really pay attention to genres and what things are, what bands are labeled. This is bringing up a really interesting little Google search here, Rhyme Minister. I'm gonna look up the genres that these bands, because in Google, on the right hand side, it shows the genre. So a band called Hammock, ambient music, post-rock, shoegazing. Okay, I guess you could say that I like math rock too. Bands like, I guess Maps and Atlases would be considered. Let's see what their Maps and Atlases. Yep, math rock. Okay, indie rock, alternative rock. Yeah, I like alternative rock. I grew up in the fucking 90s. I dig on some. What is this? My daughter and wife are having fun playing. I hear them giggling. I dig on some alternative rock, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah, 1056. If you have any questions, let me know, man. Yeah. I really don't know. I don't have a favorite. Let's just say that. It's all dependent on the mood, you know? That kind of stuff. That is also a name for it, Andrew. The other one is also a name for it as well. You're kind of a goon. But yeah, Rhyme Minister, I don't have a favorite, but yeah, some of that kind of stuff. And like I said, lately it's been a lot of Hammock, the Album Leaf, kind of ambient stuff that I can that I listen to when I write videos or edit stuff for clients. Just kind of great music without lyrics that can kind of like pass the time and is great. I don't know, it's good working music, you know what I mean? But yeah. But I appreciate that, Rhyme Minister. I hope I answered a little bit of your question. There's a shitload of genres and I can't keep up. Let's just say that. Back in the day, used to be a couple. Now it's just everything. Everything is like its own genre, and there's genres and subgenres, and the tiniest little details can change the band's genre, and blah, 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 blah. People make shit up all the time what to call bands. It's you can't keep up, and I've decided to just be a little more hands-off. But Hugo, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. Started to read The Pale Blue Dot. Very good. Nice. That is my all-time favorite book, The Pale Blue Dot by Carl Sagan. It's easily my all-time favorite book. I think I prefer the audiobook, to tell you the truth, Hugo, just because most of it is read by Carl Sagan. I believe that at a certain point another narrator picks up, and I think it's because Sagan got sick. He died of cancer. I'm gonna Google this. I've never looked this up. It's always been an assumption. Did Carl Sagan I'm sure somebody's asked this question, right? Audio recording, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. But yeah, I would recommend reading or listening to the audiobook too. If you you actually bought the audiobook. Nice, man. Yeah, it's easily my favorite book. For the longest time, I've had a Carl Sagan, a quote from it, leading into my office. It's a little poster of a. It's kind of it's a. I don't know if you've got to this point in the book, but he's talking about the Voyager missions and how they turned Voyager. I believe it was Voyager 2 around to take a picture of the Earth. And that's kind of what gives the book its name, the Pale Blue Dot. There's a whole paragraph where he talks about kind of every human being lived on this mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. And it's just a really great and powerful passage. And I love it. I would recommend listening to the audiobook for sure. I would definitely read or listen to the audiobook. But it's great, man. And I'm glad you're jumping into it. Carl Sagan is one of my favorite authors, one of my favorite science, just kind of somebody that does a great job, or did a great job, kind of boiling things down for the masses. Let's face it, most of us wouldn't understand the details, but he was a great purveyor of kind of bringing science to the public and boiling things down and making people interested in it. Because, for the most part, most scientists aren't really the best communicators. And it takes somebody like a Neil deGrasse Tyson or a Carl Sagan or a, what's his name? Fuck. Brian Cox, somebody like that to kind of make people interested in it. And it's great. It's great. But congrats, Hugo, on reading my favorite book. Angel Greedo, what do you think of Cyberpunk 2077? Sorry if I'm taking the Voyager convo off track with this. Oh, not at all. These streams are always all over the place, man. It's probably I'm probably more excited for Cyberpunk 2077 more than any other game. Jedi Fallen Order is in a category in itself. It's a Star Wars game. Duh, I'm going to be excited for it. Cyberpunk is something completely new. It's different. We don't really know too much about it. And in terms of like a new property, a new IP, a new story, a new world to explore, it is by far the game that I'm most excited about. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. It looks fucking weird. It looks just all over the place and exciting, and it looks like you have a lot of freedom, which I love. But yeah, man, I can't wait for it. Absolutely can't wait for it. Do you watch Stranger Things? I do. This is probably the song that's been on my channel the most out of any of these songs. Do you listen to music by Pogo? The only thing that I've ever listened to of his, it was a Star Wars like collaboration album. It was Pogo, Ace. I can't remember all the other good. There was like 4 artists on the Star Wars album that I used to use the album on my channel for years until I kind of got sick of using it and I started going with a little more random stuff like you're listening to right now. A little more variety to it, you know. Oh yeah. I hope the outrage against Cyberpunk didn't cause the developers to delete that content from the final. What outrage, Daniel? I hope the outrage against Cyberpunk didn't cause the developers to delete that content from the final product. What outrage are we talking? Man, can we just have something that comes out on the internet or something that comes out where there isn't fucking outrage? Cyberpunk controversy? Okay. Let's go down this rabbit hole of silliness. Hypersexualize social media, hypersexualize. Yeah, okay, whatever. Is this what it is? Female model with a large penis visible underneath her clothes, slumbering, mixing up with someone on TV. Man, can we please have something that comes out where people, whatever, people are so fucking sensitive. It's a goddamn game. Weird. What's up, Sappity? Damn, I'm late. Stupid YouTube alarm not telling again. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It happens often, man. 5 minutes before the stream, a lot of notifications go out, and people are like, what? It's over? I just got notifications. Weird. But good to see you, man. Michael Baldridge, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that. Hey, HG, how was your Independence Day? It was great, man. Yesterday, me, my wife, and my daughter went to the pool. My wife's grandma's pool, and it's right on the creek, and we just kind of hung out, grilled some brats, just the 3 of us, because her grandma's out of town, and pushed around my daughter in her float. It was a good time. Good time. Her backyard is one of my favorite places to go, of all time. Big ass backyard, big pool, creek in the back where you can kayak. It's really nice, and we had an absolute blast. And then we were back home by like 2 p.m. Put my daughter down for a little nap. We napped ourselves. Woke up and grilled ribeyes. Big old ribeye steaks. They were good. But yeah, it was a good time, man. A really good time. One of my favorite holidays because it's very relaxing, and I don't know. There's something about it. Something about it. But I appreciate that, Michael. How was yours? How was everybody's Independence Day? I'm sure in the future we'll take my daughter to see some fireworks and stuff like that. But she goes to bed pretty early, you know. She's in bed by like 7, or we're rocking her by 7, and it's still kind of light outside now, but... It's like the whole Little Mermaid controversy. Why care? Yeah, Bushranger. Most things, the vast majority of things that I see people either complaining about or being all up in arms about, and let's face it, a lot of the outrage, it is just AdSense thriving and oh my god, I can't wait to monetize all this. Monetization of outrage is a fucking industry in itself, but most things that I see people complaining about on the internet, the vast majority things, the correct response and outlook to them is, who gives a fuck? I mean, literally. I'm going to say 90% of the things that I see on Twitter, people bitching and moaning about, I go, who fucking cares? Who cares? I don't know. Man, people, I guess when there's kind of a theory where, I don't know, people look for controversy. People look for conflict. Some people thrive on conflict. And when they can't get that conflict in the real world, they apply it to the internet. Or if they don't have that conflict in the real world, they thrive on that conflict on the internet because, yeah, it's I don't know, strange, very strange. But yeah, the vast majority of things, who gives a fuck, right? Who cares? Why do you care? Why do you care? Oh, because it's not like it used to be. Who cares? Why do you worry? Why do you care? Why do you waste the time and the energy to be upset about shit that doesn't fucking matter? Who cares? And that's it. I appreciate that. Passandro? Did I say that correctly? Probably not. I'm kind of dumb. But I appreciate that, man. Is this about the Little Mermaid thing? I only just found out about it. Maybe... Oh, it was probably a Today Show or something like that. I don't know. When my daughter was waking up, I had the news on. Somebody was talking about it. Sure, it's about that. And anything that falls under like mass people on the internet, no matter what side of the spectrum you land on, being upset about something that doesn't matter. It's weird. Probably Stuart. At some point, you know, we're building a new house right now, so eventually, I'm sure. Do you play Minecraft? I've played it once. It came with my Xbox when I bought it a couple years ago. I played it maybe for an hour, never touched it again. But I'm planning on getting it for the PC because some folks in the Discord server actually made a Minecraft Hello Greedo server. And it looks fun, so I want to stream that at some point. I think that'd be pretty fun to do for sure. But yeah. Matt, aka Star Killer. Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I hope everything's going well with you. Hey guys, send good vibes my way. Pray. Oh shit. Pray if your religious life's not going well for me. Clinical depression doesn't help. Also, F outrage culture. There you go. 100%, man. Yeah. Well, what's I don't want to poke and prod too much, but yeah, good vibes sent for sure. But yeah, I hope nothing too serious. I hope it's just, you know, a temporary funk. I can't, man. But yeah, fuck outrage culture for sure. On all sides. But yeah, I hope nothing too serious is going on, but you know, sorry. There's I can't really put myself in that headspace, you know. Clinical depression. That's I don't know what the correct or the ways you've tried to go about remedying that situation, but I'm sure you've done everything you can. Obviously, if you have that, I'm sure you've done all the research way more than most people. I would say, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I think, I don't know, maybe I'm too lackadaisical, but, shit, man. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, everybody send some good vibes, towards Mr. Matt. Is that tattoo? But yeah, man, I appreciate that support. I hope everything works out. If you ever need, you know, shoot me a tweet or something like that. If you ever need to shoot the shit or something. But I hope I hope you have an avenue where you can maybe get a little bit of support, you know. But yeah. But Matt, it's always good to see you. And yeah, the outrage culture thing, it's getting a little crazy. It's been getting a little crazy, right? For sure. Everybody's looking to be upset about the smallest details. I finally got probation for something I've been on trial for 3 years, but that's causing new problems. Life is problems and challenges. I know that, but I don't always feel equipped for them. Man. Again, I don't want to poke and prod, but it's causing new problems. Life is problems and challenges. I know. I always feel like man. You know, I guess it could have been worse, right? Maybe that's a good outlook to have. And again, I'm talking out of my ass because I don't know the situation and I can't put myself in that headspace. But most things could be worse, and maybe that's some kind of consolation. Maybe that's how I kind of spin things in my own brain to look on the rosy side. But most things could be worse. But I don't know. I feel like I'm maybe a little detached, a little too lackadaisical when it comes to certain shit that I probably should care more about, you know. But Matt, I hope everything works out. You know, I do kind of have a firm philosophy and belief that things kind of tend to work themselves out and things get better in the end. I know that maybe that's a little having rose-colored glasses on a little too much, but I do believe that. I do believe that. With a little pressure, things usually work out. But Matt, I appreciate that. I hope everything works out, man. And it will. It will. You gotta believe it'll work out. It'll work out. You gotta do shit too. I mean, it's not all about belief. Can't sit in the chair and go, oh, I hope it works out. I hope it works out. I hope it works out. And you open your eyes, it's 10 years later, and you still haven't won the lottery. But I appreciate that, man. And yeah, good vibes. Good vibes. And Connor Johnson, do you enjoy the movie Fantasia? Ooh, Connor. I haven't thought about that movie in a very long time. I mean, is that where Mickey's conducting? Yeah, okay. Dude, I probably haven't seen this movie since I was a kid. I probably haven't seen this movie since I was younger than 10. I really don't know. Bits and pieces, I'm sure, has been on TV, and I'll flip it over just out of curiosity, but I haven't seen this movie in so long in its entirety. I haven't thought about this movie in a very long time. Let me see. Fantasia songs. I'm thinking that one of the songs actually came up. Nope, not Fantasia. That singer. It's Fantasia movie songs. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't thought about that movie in a very long time. It's interesting. So yeah, I'm sure if I watched it, I would enjoy it. But to tell you the truth, I really don't remember much about it other than like that one scene where Mickey's conducting. Oh, one sec.
How big is it? Amount of rooms? Pool outside? Color? Star Wars only room? Trash compactor? Barbecue space on balcony?
I wish I could customize
How many
it like
floors? That. Style? Spaceport?
Dude, Sapity, the way that robot just read it was hilarious. I wish I could... Can I repeat it? No. It sounded like something from some silly comedy movie, the way the robot was repeating it, or reading it. Silly questions. So, one sec, Sapity. So yeah, Connor, I really can't think of... I really don't remember the movie at all, other than that conducting scene, to tell you the truth. I know a lot of Disney stuff came from that movie, right? A lot of kind of stuff that got blown up and into, maybe not, the songs and stuff like that. I'm going to look at the songs. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling right now. Fantasia movie songs. Segments. Soundtrack. I don't know. It's been a very long time, man. It was made for $2.3 million. Man, movies. Interesting. I wonder what that is with inflation. Let's see. Gold Market Taylor. Anyway, I'm sure, Connor, when my daughter's a little older, we'll go through the entire collection and watch all those old Disney movies, and there's no question in my mind that that will be on the list. Always considered it to be one of the weirder ones, right? But I appreciate that, Connor. And Sapity, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Final super chat and channel support of the stream, guys. I'm going to hop off after this. Sapity says, I'm a bit curious about the house. How big is it? Amount of rooms? Pool outside? Color? Star Wars only room? Trash compactor? Barbecue space on the balcony? How many floors? Style? Spaceport? So the house is being built. It's 2-story. Our old house, it's like almost exactly twice as big as our old house. Our old house was like a little over 1,000 feet. This new one is a little over 2,000 feet, or square feet rather. So, and it's like, it's nice, you know. It's in the suburbs, so. It's what's crazy, man, is that we're buying this house in the suburbs for like the same price that we sold our old house for, which was built in the 40s and just kind of like in a really eclectic, popular area of downtown. It's just mind-blowing how far your money can go out in the suburbs compared to where we're moving away from, you know. So it's 2 stories. It is a 4 2.5. And no Star Wars exclusive looms. It's a 4 2.5 with a loft, which is cool. Which the loft is really neat. It's like, so downstairs it's the master bedroom and obviously the kitchen and living room and all that, dining room and all that kind of stuff. And the only bedroom downstairs is the master. Upstairs are 3 bedrooms and a loft. So it's really cool. One of those bedrooms upstairs is going to be my office. Really excited because the office is like twice as big as my old tiny ass office, which was probably 8 feet by 8 feet. Well, it's definitely not twice as big as that, but it's much bigger than that. No, it doesn't have a basement. You can't really have basements in Florida, man. Water level is so close to the surface that you start digging, you'll hit water. Like nobody has basements down here. There's basements in Florida don't exist. Maybe North Florida a little bit where I'm at. You got to go higher up north though. Got to go higher up north. But yeah, Sapty, I'm super excited. There's no pool in the backyard. It's something you have to build, but the community itself does have a pool. I'm gonna get a screened-in balcony, which I'm excited for. We have a couple cats, so they'll love it. But yeah, I'm really excited, man, just because the old house was really cool for me and my wife, and it was the perfect small house for the 2 of us. And it was around a lot of cool bars and restaurants and nightlife and stuff like that. So for 5 years, we really took advantage of it and kind of like had a lot of fun. Sorry guys, I just burped on the microphone. So, you know, it's time for a little change. We got the kid now and need more space and a little bit of suburbs action. A little bit of a family environment, you know, but I'm excited, man. And Darian Smith, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Thanks for hanging out. Well, I appreciate you hanging out as well, man. These are always fun. I always really enjoy these hangout streams. I like playing games too, don't get me wrong, but I really enjoy doing these just kind of hangout streams. Get to fly to intergalactic space, heading to Andromeda, listen to some spacey tunes, shoot the shit for a little bit, and talk about all sorts of random topics. But yeah, man, I appreciate that, Darian. And yeah, Sapity, a tour will definitely happen for sure. But all right, I will be. I'm trying to think. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Saturday. My buddy is having a kind of a barbecue tomorrow. We're gonna head over there in the afternoon. I don't know if I'll do anything tomorrow, to tell you the truth, for the channel. I might hop on early in the morning for just a early couple rounds of Battlefront, but other than that, I might not stream or do anything on the channel until Sunday, but we'll see. You guys know me. Fly by the seat of my pants. Don't take shit too serious. Make stuff when I can make stuff. That's the motto of the Greedo. But, all right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me run down the list. Darian Smith, thank you for the super chat and channel support. Sapity, thank you for the super chat and channel support. Connor Johnson, thank you for the super chat and channel support. Matt, a.k.a. Star Killer, thank you for the super chat as well. Hope everything works out, man. It will. It will. Michael Baldridge, thank you for the super chat and channel support. Hugo, thank you for the super chat and channel support. Rhyme Minister, thank you for the super chat and channel support. Sophia Sith Lord, thank you for the super chat and channel support. Confused Bite, thank you for the super chat and channel support. Damon P. Aquadio, thank you for the super chat and channel support. Lennon Soriano, thank you for the super chat and channel support. And Carter Lovejoy, thank you for the super chat and channel support as well. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend, or it's a Friday, isn't it? Enjoy the start of your weekend. And the rest of your day, your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever the hell you are on planet Earth. And I will catch you all on the flip side. Perfect ending song. All right, guys. See ya.